To the north of Humla district in northwestern Nepal lays the hidden valley of Limi. In May 2013, a team of wildlife researchers camped higher up in the Tibetan plateau to look for the wild yaks that were reported by the local villagers. The weather turned suddenly unfavorable. It snowed heavily and they could not continue their research expedition. But the team did not return completely empty-handed.
We have sighted the sign of a wild yak, like hoof mark, their tongue, but still to look their face, we are not able to capture wild yak in the camera.
The team did not see any wild yak during this expedition. In April 2014, another team went to Limi, traversing the snow-covered trails in company of the villagers. The 11th century Rinchen Ling monastery in Halji village emitted an ancient charm as the villagers gathered in the courtyard to celebrate Popsang. Popsang is an important Tibetan festival celebrated every year in spring. Soon after the festival finished, the team ventured to the higher grasslands on the Tibetan plateau. A thick layer of white snow still wrapped the rolling hills in a white silence. Their attempt to find the wild yaks failed one more time. In May of the same year, the team returned to Limi again. In the lower valleys, the pasture lands were full of sheep herds, replaced by yak herds in the upper valleys. Spring had now hit the rolling grasslands on the Tibetan plateau. They set their camp in Gyao Valley. One fine morning, the team was heading towards the western corner of the valley as part of the daily research routine. Occasional sightings of Himalayan marmot and kyang, the Tibetan wild ass gave beautiful life to the vast landscape. And that afternoon, well into the day's hike and completely unexpected, the team encountered two male wild yaks behind a small rising. This moment marked the first scientific documentation of this majestic species in Nepal after 5 decades of their assumed local extinction. The two wild yaks thundered away, running at full speed upon the first sight of the team. In the days that followed, the team saw the pair of wild yaks twice again, but only from a large distance. It was clear these black giants were extremely shy of humans. The finding triggered a wide media echo across Nepal. It also motivated the team to carry out more specific researches into the ecology and conservation of the wild yaks in Nepal. A year later, they returned to Limi in quest of wild yaks again. As in the previous year, they loaded the field equipment onto mules to allow multiple months of expedition, crossed the ice-cold Sakya River, and once again pitched camp in Gyao Valley. After the long travels, the invaluable mules always enjoy foraging on the grasslands. The previous winter had been very harsh in Nepal, and most places in the higher Himalayas had received heavy snowfall. Clearly, many animals had died from starvation this past winter because the persistent snow cover prevented them from foraging. After spending multiple months in the area, the team realized that the local yak herders create challenges to the wild yaks through the sheer numbers of domestic yaks they bring up every season to graze on these high grasslands. This habitat encroachment by the herders and the domestic herds forced the wild yaks to move away to remote locations during the months of herding. In this year, the team saw only a single wild yak grazing in the upper parts of Gyao Valley. After about 20 days, a big herd of domestic yaks arrived and claimed the entire valley for their grazing. The team realized that better pasture land management plans are needed across wild yak habitats in the Himalayas of Nepal. A better understanding of the ecology of the wild yak combined with understanding the local herding rhythms will allow the formulation of sustainable herding management plans for these areas. The people of Limi consider wild yaks as the god's yak. Unfortunately, this pet of the gods is continuously under threat due to their own devotees. Past experiences have led the people of Limi to believe that all wild yak bulls visit their herding camps in summer to mate with the domestic female yaks. This leads to conflict with herders as the wild yak bulls roaming around their camp make their daily chores difficult. Most such visiting wild yak bulls are therefore killed. In the past, the local people used to kill wild yaks by setting large stone traps.
हामी अहिले साल त होइन हैन हामी अब 30-40 वर्ष त्यति गए होला यो हामीले त त्यो दिगेर भन्दा यो ठाउँ दिगेरबाट हामीले यसै गरेको छैन हैन उताबाट रङ ल्याएर अनि यहाँतिर मार्छ भन्छ हामीले.
But today, firearms have replaced the traps. Also, the large amount of meat resulting from a hunted wild yak acts as an incentive to local people to kill them. The heads of wild yaks are sold to the Tibetan Autonomous Region of China, where they are used as a status symbol for 1,000 yuan, which corresponds to approximately $145.
यो जुन ड्रोङ छ नि हजुर यो ड्रोङ चाहिँ यो हिमाली भेगको सबभन्दा ठुलो जनावर हो र यो हिमाली जनावरको मध्ये चाहिँ सबभन्दा ठुलो जनावर भएको हुनाले अनि यो चाहिँ यो टाउको चाहिँ तिब्बततिर चाहिँ बेच्छ र यो तिब्बतको मान्छेले के सोच्छन् भनेपछि यसको टाउको चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ आफ्नो घरको छेउमा सजायो भने हामी पनि यो ढोङ जस्तै हामी ठुलो हौं भन्ने सोचाइ लिएर चाहिँ उनीहरु किन्दो रहेछ र.
The expanding construction of motor roads across the Tibetan plateau has further degraded the wild yak habitat in the region, and the road networks facilitate the poaching of wild yaks in the region. The people of Limi have a significant cultural relation with the wild yak. Worshipping the source of water with wild yak hair deposited next to it is believed to recharge the source in the events of long droughts. Perhaps the most extraordinary use of wild yak parts is found during wedding ceremonies, where the groom shoots an arrow from a bow to a wooden plate tied around the waist of his bride. The rope of this bow is made with the tendons of a wild yak. While unfolding these various aspects of wild yaks in Limi, the team also heard about the presence of these wild animals in Chuakola, a valley which lies more to the east in Humla district. Soon, they were heading to that valley. There, local herders told the team about 3 wild yaks that were hunted in a single day 3 years ago during spring.
योभन्दा 2 वर्ष अगाडि माथि च्यामटाङ भन्ने ठाउँमा शिकार खेल्न जाँदा 18 जना युवाले 3वटा ड्रोङ फेला पारेको रहेछ. 3वटा ड्रोङलाई बन्दुक हानेर घाइते बनाएर उन्दु भागेर आएर तलतिर खाप्टेमा भन्ने ठाउँमा 2टा चाहिँ त्यही मारेर एउटा चाहिँ तल राखहरू भन्ने ठाउँमा मारेको. पछि मासु चाहिँ नि 25 घोडाको बारी बनाएर घरमा लग्यो रहेछ.
The team thought that spring must be the best time to find wild yaks in Chuakola, and so they returned to the valley again in April 2016. They suspected that wild yaks might roam the area mainly in the winter season, pushing them across the border to China before the local herders came up to the valley during summer. This time, the team observed recent hoof prints and dung piles of wild yaks. But again, snow hindered their endeavors this early in the mountain spring. They could not verify the presence of living wild yaks in the area. The team was interested to understand the status of these majestic animals across other potential habitats in the Nepalese Himalayas. So they set out on an expedition to Upper Dolpa to explore the potential presence and retrace the historical evidences of wild yaks in this part of Nepal. While climbing up to the potential wild yak habitats, they traversed through the famous Suligat Falls with its water supplied by Phoksundo Lake and proceeded to the famous Shem Monastery. It was during the monsoon season. The local villagers were searching for the traditional medicine Yarsagumba, while the team was searching for the black giants, but without success. They continued to Kuwagao, a hidden village within the steep mountain landscape of Upper Dolpa, and explored the alpine meadows, reaching close to Damfe Sale. They found no trace of wild yaks in the entire area, although the villagers had told them that a wild yak had visited the area 10 years before. At Kunla, a pass marking the Nepal-China border, they found an old head of a wild yak killed 14 years back in the area, but no recent wild yak signs were found here. They also did not find any signs in the meadows around Polte Khola of Tinje VDC, where, according to the local villagers, wild yaks used to roam in the past. The findings suggested that wild yaks are really extinct from the Dolpa region of Nepal. But there was one more potential wild yak habitat to be explored in the high Himalayas of Nepal. The team ventured to the Tibetan plateau areas of Upper Mustang to search for wild yaks and their local history. But here too, they returned without finding any new signs that would suggest the presence of wild yaks in the area. Wild yaks are the guardians of the Tibetan plateau landscapes. This is the belief of the local community in Humla.
पोहोरको सालमा त्यो केटाहरू गएछ र बन्दुक लिएर त्यो 2-3 डोङ मारिदिएछ त्यहाँ त्यो डोङ मार्दाखेरिमा हामीलाई पनि राम्रो पनि भएन हामीलाई के भयो भने धेरै पानी पर्यो त्यो पानीलाई पनि मान्छेलाई असर पार्यो हैन त्यहाँबाट हामीलाई पनि त्यो अनिकल पनि लाग्यो त्यो के हो भनेपछि त्यो डोङ पनि हाम्रो भित्रको यो वनको के भने ढुकुरी जस्तो रहेछ धेरै ठुलो चीज हो त्यो.
Although rediscovered in Nepal, the presence of only these few individuals indicates that the wild yak truly is critically endangered in Nepal. Conservation efforts in form of sustainable habitat management and ecological research around the species are urgent.
All the conservation community, people working in conservation, conservationists, government to community and everyone to working together and make sure that wild yak habitat is secured and is conserved, and that need a much more investment, a much more concerted efforts from all sectors to have that area secure, so the transboundary species will continue to thrive and Nepal will have a residential population in the long run.
In the future, for the sustainability of these species and the ecosystems nearby the areas, I think we have to reassess the biodiversity and the feasibility study of the site, whether we can declare is the new protected area system or not.
Nepal can host a small but intact transboundary population of wild yaks, but we humans need to allow them their space. If we do so effectively, next generations will rejoice seeing these black giants roam wild.